Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create some jellyfish themed earrings with polymer clay. Now what I've got over here is Primo polymer clay, and the main piece of clay that I have here is translucent. Then I've got Primo teal, Primo ultramarine blue and Primo purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those colours to tint the translucent. You could also tint the clay using alcohol inks if you want as well, but today I'm going to show you how to use it, how to tint it using coloured clay, especially since I don't need the translucent to be particularly translucent, because coloured clay will leave you with a slightly more opaque finish than if you had tinted using alcohol inks. And I'd say that the recipe is about 1 part coloured clay to 6 parts translucent, roughly speaking. Then I'm just going to mix that all up together, incorporating the colour and the translucent together, and I'll do that for all 3 of them. And yeah, that should give us 3 different colours. And there we go, that's how they should look once they have been mixed up. Now, let me just bring over the texture stamp I'm going to be using. This is the one I'm using, and it is important to have a texture stamp where it's got a radial pattern, which means that the pattern's going in a circular pattern. So you don't have to use this exact one, just one where you've got a nice circular pattern going. And this is one of my texture stamps. There will be a link in the description below to it if you're interested, and that's what we're going to be using. I am also going to be using a large ball tool on which we're going to be putting the, we're going to be cutting out circles, and we're going to place them on top of the ball tool. So you need some sort of round object such as a ball tool for this. I'm just going to pop that there. And I'm going to bring over 3 sizes of circles. Any size will work so long as they are 3 sizes. Also with the colours you want to, I would suggest going with kind of a skinner blend. Like for instance this one is a green, blue, purple. You could also go for yellow, orange, red. I just think that it will look better that way, but that's a matter of opinion. Then I'm going to take my largest circle cutter and cut out 2 from that one, move down to the next size down and cut out 2 from the next colour, and then repeat the same with the purple, like so. Then just pick all of that up and put it to the side. Okay. And I've taken those and transferred them to a piece of paper just so that it makes it easier to work with. And then I'm going to start with the largest one, and I'm going to try to center that on the ball tool like so. And you want to just press that down around the ball tool so that it sticks. And that already is looking like the cap of a jellyfish. Now put these to the side and bring over your texture stamp, and then you want to position that so that the top of this piece is in the middle of the radial pattern, and then just rock like so, so that you place in a pattern like so. Okay, and there might be some areas that you miss. If there are any areas that you missed, you can go in and just specifically mark those ones. And this is why you should choose a radial pattern, and also preferably one that isn't too specific pattern wise, because it means that you can go in and just mark up those areas that got missed without worrying about it messing up the pattern. Also, if you don't want to make jellyfish, this also would be a nice way to make a mushroom cap. Then I'm going to gently lift that off the ball tool, and you do that by rotating and lifting like so, and then it should just pop straight off like so, and there you go. you're going to pop that to the side on the piece of paper so that it doesn't stick, and it's going to get baked like that. And you're going to move down to the next one, that being the next size down and the next colour, and you're going to press that down onto the same ball tool, or you could even use a smaller ball tool as well if you wanted to, so that it gets smaller each time. Take that and press, and the largest one is always going to be the hardest to get a full pattern on. There we go. Then again, just gently lift that off the tool, and then you're just going to repeat for all of the other little pieces. And I think I'm going to take these and I'm going to move them down to a smaller ball tool because that's come out a little flat. So I'll just take another size and gently work that around it and then lift it off again. Okay, and there we go. That's what you should have. Then just try to, they might need a little bit of persuasion in terms of trying to get them to stay round. If you happen to have things like little cotton balls or even beads, you can pop them on top of those to keep them round while they're baking, or you can leave them with the semi-organic shape as well while they bake. Either way is fine. These are now going to go into the oven for about half an hour at Primo's recommended temperature, and then when they're done we're going to use a little bit of white paint to just highlight the texture that has been created. Okay, and here they are out of the oven, and hopefully you can see there the colour change. I'll bring this over so you can see there's not a ton of colour change. The colours are definitely more stable when you colour translucent with clay rather than alcohol inks, but there will be a little bit of colour shift, mainly due to the clay going translucent, but it should stay pretty much the same otherwise. Also, something I did forget to mention earlier is that the clay that I'm using, the sheets anyway that I cut the pieces from, are about 1mm thick. Okay, now I'm going to take a drill and I am going to just drill a hole right at the top of the piece, and that's just going to make it easier for me to apply paint to them. And you're just going to pop a hole through. This is just a little handheld pin drill. There we go, and I'll do the same with the others, but for this one I'm going to work with that now. And then I'm going to be using pearl white paint because I think the pearlescent effect will add a little more to the piece than regular white would, but that is completely up to you whether you want that or not. And actually, let me see, I'm going to pop that, let me see if I can pop it on top of one of these and see if that will help. That will actually make it sit nicely. Then I'm going to take just a little makeup sponge, apply a little bit of that to the end. Just make sure you don't have a huge amount, like so, you just want a little, and then just tap over the surface in a very light coat. This is supposed to just highlight the texture, it's not supposed to cover the underlying colour. And this is why I also wanted to go with the pearl white, because it will be more translucent than the regular white, and we'll just add a sheen to the colour rather than actually covering up the colour. But feel free to use white if you want. I'm just going to continue brushing over, not applying thick layers at once, but just more a metallic sheen. And there we go, you can see there that it still maintains the colour while also highlighting the texture. And I'm going to repeat that process for all of the other little pieces with the same colour of paint. And there we go, that's how it should end up looking. Then I popped it back in the oven for about 5 minutes just to heat set the paint so that you can't scratch it off. You could also seal them with a gloss varnish if you want to, but I'm quite happy with how they look the way they are. So now you're going to need 3 head pins, 3 jump rings, 3 different lengths of chain. I went with 8 links, 10 links and 12 links, and a ear wire. Okay, and we'll put the ear wire to the side. We're not going to use that right this second. And I'm going to start with these, and you're going to clip off the little head on the top. You're going to create a loop using some round nose pliers, like so. Just make sure it's nice and tidy. Then open that loop up and attach one of the jump rings, like so. Close the loop up. Pop that onto one of your pieces, in this case the largest one. Then cut a length of wire so that you can create a loop on the other side. And bring over the round nose pliers for that. Okay. And create that loop by just twirling that wire around. There we go. Then you're going to move on to the next one. You're going to take the head pin, and it's pretty much the same process. You snip off the end, you create the loop, like so. Make sure it's nice and closed. Then either open that up or open up the jump ring and attach it. And I'm just going to show this entire process. Grab the jump ring, pop it on, and this is the easiest way to make it less fiddly, because you could do the head pin part and then attach it with jump rings later, but I find that quite fiddly. So what I do is I'll do it in this order. And just bear with me one moment. Again, snip off that extra wire, hold it so that it doesn't go pinging off into Never Never Land. Curl that over, making sure that it's closed. There we go. And then I'm going to actually open the jump ring in here. And this bit is fiddly, so bear with me for one moment while I get that. Just grab that and then grab my, and actually no, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to open this. This will be an easier way to do it. Open that up and then pop that through the jump ring. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's going to be very hard to see, but I've looped it through. Oops. And it is quite fiddly, but I will show you when I've got it looped. Okay, and I've got it looped. You essentially want to grab the loop on the top, loop it onto the jump ring, and then get in here with your pliers and just close that loop. And gravity is going to be your best friend. Have it facing down like this when you're closing the loop, that way the jump ring won't fall off. And then those two are going to be connected. Then you're going to repeat the same process with this one. Okay, and there we go. Those are the 3 connected. Then you're going to take the final jump ring and open that up. And you're going to pop on your 3 lengths of chain. And I like to do it so that it's the 12, the 8, and then the 10 link, so that the smallest one is in the middle, like so. Then don't close that jump ring, take that and grab the loop right at the bottom of the smallest jellyfish bulb, and then use your pliers because they can get into tiny little gaps, and close that jump ring. And there we go, you've got the little tentacles. And then the final step is to just open up the top loop like so, and apply your ear wire. And I've made everything as tiny and tight as possible so that the joins aren't too obvious. There we go. Close that up, and there you go. You've got yourself a little jellyfish earring. Quite cute, if I do say so myself. And I'm going to bring over the other one because I have done that one as well. Just lay that down, and I can only show you like this because they're a little fiddly when it comes to lying them flat on the tile. But yeah, those are very simple but effective jellyfish earrings. Keep in mind that I am in fluorescent lights right now. This looks much better in sunlight because the translucent will be much clearer, so you can imagine how that would look. And you could apply the technique here across a couple of different techniques. It does not need to be this very simple coloured translucent, but you can see it's a very quick project. This took me maybe an hour to make, including bake time, so it's a very nice easy project and also a great gift and perfect for summer. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's tutorial. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I did quite enjoy it. It's a little fiddly towards the end, but otherwise I think the results are quite worth it. Let me know if you think so in the comments below. If you have any questions, leave them there as well. And if you like the video, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, as that helps the channel out and gets it out to more people that like polymer clay. And if you'd like to support the channel further so I can continue creating videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a join button just below this video. Or you can have a look at my Etsy store where I sell things like the textures and the cutters that I used in today's video. It's another great way to help the channel out and is greatly appreciated. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's tutorial. I do hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.